The 7 Series is BMW's answer to the likes of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class and the Audi A8, and now it comes with a hybrid powertrain. Of course, that is an upper hand for it. It's the first of its kind in its class. Let's take a closer look.
That humongous grille, those sleek headlamps, the sheer length of this car should tell you that this is the BMW 7 Series and the updated version of it, the one that recently came out. But you will need a keen eye to notice a filler flap over the left wheel arch or maybe a 745 LE badging on the boot lid, both of which identify this car as a 7 Series hybrid. Now under the hood is a 3-liter petrol engine, and it puts out about 286 PS of power. Now, that's a good number, but it doesn't sound big enough for a big car like this, especially when you know that the 740 Li, the pure petrol counterpart of this car, puts out over 340 horses. However, there is an electric motor which feeds an additional 113 PS to this powertrain, which means that 0 to 100 is almost half a second quicker than the pure petrol counterpart. This one has a combined output of 394 PS and torque 600 Newton meters of it. With the two powertrains working in tandem, the performance is brisk no matter what mode you're driving in. In fact, in tight spaces, you have to be a bit more measured with the throttle. There are multiple drive modes to tame the power and maximize efficiency of the hybrid system. The hybrid mode in its Eco Pro setting works the best for city use. The pure electric mode has a range of about 50 kilometers, but with the hybrid mode, the 745 LE can travel an equivalent of around 40 kilometers to a liter. Luxury limos like these do require a luxuriously large parking lot as well. However, this one in particular will need a little bit more space on the wall because this one is a plug-in hybrid. So unlike regular hybrids where the engine is also charging the batteries, this one has a larger battery pack, and to charge all of that, you need a wall charger. The conventional plug point charger needs about 5 hours to charge the 12 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack of this car, which by the way sits under the rear seats. The transmission works well in harnessing the power of both the powertrains for a seamless drive, whether you're ambling in the city or munching miles on the highway. But with how enthusiastic the 745 LE can get, paddle shifters are sorely missed. The engine braking is quite effective, and unlike most BMWs with hybrid systems, the braking feel isn't too wooden, which is good news for a car that is this big. Even on pure petrol propulsion, the cabin is quite silent, as you would expect from a Lux limo. Adding to that is the superb ride quality of the 7 Series. The 745 LE rides on air suspension, and I'm glad it has that air suspension. Now, I am always the one saying that I'm against having air suspension in our road conditions, but with a car like the 7 Series, it actually helps. It's got a slight bit of a firm edge, which is a very good thing because for this length, it can feel quite wallowy when you are in its softest setting and out on the highway. The BMW thankfully doesn't. It feels like a BMW. It has that firm edge, and I really like that. Why I also want the air suspension on this, or why I also prefer the air suspension on a car like this, is because with the sheer length and the ground-hugging nature of a typical BMW, it's very easy to scrape the belly of this car on tall speed humps, and that is why you want a kind of suspension that allows you to lift the car, and the air suspension does that. Now, because this is a CBU, all the features that the 7 Series has to offer, most of them, are in this car. You don't really end up wishing for more. For example, the entertainment screens. They're right there. They look quite nice. They look quite premium. What doesn't match that, however, is the tablet. It's still an Android tablet, a Samsung one at that, with all that lettering, all those little stickers back there. It just doesn't feel premium enough. I was really hoping that at least with the facelift, at least with the update, there was something as premium as an iPad or an iPad mini back in here. iPad mini, of course. Now, this also controls all the window blinds, the sun blinds, the sunroof. All of that is controlled with this. If you would rather have it the traditional way, there are switches for all of that. You can also sort of set your seat to your preference. I have completely reclined it. I have that kind of space in front of me, get a footrest as well. So in terms of luxury, in terms of opulence, this car doesn't really leave you wishing for more. There's everything that you hope for. All of that is right here. This is the place to be in if you own a 7 Series. If I had to go nitpicking, These thick seams can get pokey and discomforting over long distances, and the bright upholstery can get soiled easily, especially if you are going to stretch out your feet often. And why shouldn't you? Therefore, it's a better idea to go with the tan or any such darker shade for the cabin. The 745LE has massaging for all but the front passenger seat. The infotainment has the familiar iDrive interface with no Android Auto, NFE wireless Apple CarPlay, gesture controls and the BMW voice assistant. It also allows you to plan charging cycles since this is a plug-in hybrid. So is the 745LE worth it? I think it's absolutely worth it. The performance is better than its pure petrol counterpart, which means it has all the feels, it has all the enthusiasm when you want it. The range is better than its diesel counterpart, which means it has better practicality when you need it. And then because this is a CBU, it has most of the features that you want from a 7 Series. So even in terms of offering the value, offering the opulence, offering everything that you want to pamper yourself with, it's all right there. And that is why I think that this is easily one of the more practical, one of the more desirable variants within the 7 Series lineup. It's second only to the lovely 760Li with that V12 engine. But in terms of practicality, in terms of going green and all of that, this one hits the sweet spot.
That's it then from us on this